What's poppin', people? It's your boy Young Burnt Toast, aka Young Burger Patty, in the building. Nobody wants beef, nothing but vegetarians around me. Now listen, I'm making this video because I've seen the same critiques going around for months and months. Main thing I've been seeing people say is, you know, the graphics are trash in Pokemon Sword and Shield. The story is really bad. There's nothing going on. And while these things are true, it doesn't matter, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, I was watching a video by Distant Kingdom, or as my boy Zeph likes to call him, Galarian Verlicify. I have nothing against this man. I just thought it was funny that he called him that. And he made a video giving his first impressions on Sword and Shield. It popped up in my recommended. I have watched some of his videos before where he does make some valid criticisms. He usually makes valid criticisms, if I'm being honest. I guess so, a lot of people don't like how he presents the information sometimes, but that's besides the point. So I was watching this video, and he made plenty of valid criticisms. He said the story's lacking, nothing really happens. You do the gym challenge, Chairman Rose becomes a villain out of nowhere. They don't explain how Eternatus got there. You beat him, you go back to the gym challenge, the game's over. There's a side quest at the end. These two goofballs come up. Where the hell did they come from? They don't explain anything to you in the game. A lot of the things that actually happen in the story or happen off screen, like you'll hear an explosion, Leon will come clean it up, you don't even get to see what happened, stuff like that. He also praised the game. He said the game looks pretty good in certain areas. He said the gym challenge was actually very well done. He said the gym leaders themselves were actual really good characters for once in their fucking lives. So he praised the game, and he also gave the cons to the game, as in, you know, the game's, he said it's a pretty good 3DS game. You shouldn't buy the game for full price. It's not worth the money. That's where I disagree, because the story doesn't fucking matter. At least in the last generations, it just does not matter. Obviously, they've tried to put some effort into the story in the past, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because there's so much more that Pokemon has to offer that people never tap into. Think about it. I can't name a single other RPG that has a competitive scene as big as Pokemon. I can't name another RPG where they have to balance 900 characters against each other so that you can use them in battle in different stages of the game. If there are any out there, I can't think of them off the top of my head. I could be wrong. Pokemon is unique. The story is not the most important thing in Pokemon. It's not your traditional story RPG. There's so much more you can do afterwards in terms of PvP, in terms of PvE even in this game, that makes the story, to me, probably the least important part of the game. But it seems like that's all everybody wants to focus on. That's not even close to as important as everything else is. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's just how it is. Pokemon, they don't focus on the story because everything else takes way more work. People talk about missing Pokemon, people talk about graphics, people talk about the lack of voice acting. These are all valid criticisms, okay? But at the end of the day, that's not what's important. That's not what really matters to everybody else that plays Pokemon past the story. I play Pokemon myself because I play Pokemon competitively. I don't give a fuck about the goddamn story. Not that I can't criticize the story. I do criticize the story. I do criticize the game itself. Looks like shit. Story's really nothing to write home about. It's whatever. But past that, I greatly and deeply appreciate all the attention to detail they've shown to the competitive side. They added a new item that lets Pokemon switching on hazards and not take damage. They've added a mechanic that lets you not get flinched from fake out. They've added so many different kinds of Pokemon, so many different kinds of abilities to counter previous abilities that they introduced into Pokemon, so many different kinds of type combinations that they didn't have before, new moves, new mechanics. It's crazy. That's what I see, and I see that they were not lazy at all. They put a lot of time into that part of the game. Those are the good parts of the game, though. The parts that they actually put time into, I can see that with my own eyes. They put a lot of time and effort into making the competitive scene better. Even the raid battles. I don't think Distant Kingdom experienced the raid battles because I saw in another video that he uploaded that he didn't even actually buy the game. I think he's playing a pirated version, which is fine. I don't care about that. I'm not trying to shit on the guy. I just don't think he's gonna go online with a pirated version because that's how you get your account banned. But my point is, raid battles with friends is great. It's fun. I don't think he's experienced the fun of a raid battle. And that's the part they focused on. They didn't focus on the story and the graphics. They focused on the person-to-person interactions. And it's obvious if you actually can make it past the story and explore what else they have to offer you. A lot of people don't ever make it to competitive. A lot of people don't ever make it to anything else that Pokemon has to offer them. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You can play the story. There's nothing wrong with playing the story. But I just want to put it into perspective that if you actually venture off and explore and figure out everything Pokemon truly has to offer, you'll see how minuscule the fucking story is compared to everything else. Everything else is astronomical, bro. They took all these Pokemon out of the game, but it's made the competitive scene so much crazier because there's so many new options and there's so many new possibilities that I can't even really be mad at it. I can't, because they are actually working really hard. You just can't see it with your eyes. The Pokemon is a numbers game. It's not a fucking Dragon Quest or Breath of the Wild. It's not. It's a numbers game, and they've done a lot of great work that you can't just see on the surface. You have to actually dive deep, look at stats, look at items, look at moves, look at combinations. It's crazy if you can make it that far, but a lot of people never will, and they'll never appreciate that part of the game. And that's the actual part of the game that they really care about and they really work really hard on. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't work equally as hard on the story. That's obviously the appeal to a lot of the casual players. They play the story, they catch a couple Pokemon, and they're done with the game. They should work equally as hard on that stuff, just because it'll make the entire game better. Why wouldn't they? But I just want to offer that into the world, that maybe you guys should look a little bit further into the game and not just assume that, you know, these people are crazy lazy when there's a lot of work to do outside of the story. They only have so much time to do it, and I'm not trying to make excuses for these people. These people have a lot of money, they have a lot of resources. They can honestly get anything done that they want to get done. Maybe not within the time frame they're allotted, but, you know, given more time, given more resources, given more people, they could easily make the best looking game we've ever seen. But either way, all I'm trying to say is, beyond the surface, beyond the actual game, beyond the trash animations everywhere, beyond the lack of voice acting, beyond the long list of very criticizable things in this game, the long list of trash, the long list of shortcuts and just complete and utter garbage that we've seen year to year, there is a ton of work to be done elsewhere. Competitive Pokemon is huge. It's huge. And when all of you guys stop playing the story, we're still playing the game. There's a lot to pay attention to outside of that. Competitive Pokemon has been around for years, so they're not just being lazy. I'm sure there's a group of people back there, you know, crunching numbers, trying to figure out what beats what, trying to figure out what stats to give Pokemon, trying to figure out new ideas for new items, new combinations and doubles, new abilities. There's a team of people dedicated to that. I'm sure there is. And that, my friends, is far more important than this dick-ass Pokemon story. Because let's be real. If you play Pokemon at any point in your life, you've played this game already. They're all the fucking same. Stop crying about the fucking Pokemon story. Are we really serious right now? Every Pokemon game is identical. Obviously, don't take that so literally. There's differences between each Pokemon game. Yes, I know that. But in the end, okay, in the end, it's the same game every time. You start in the first town, you meet your rival, you meet the professor, you get a Pokemon, you take the gym challenge. Oh my god, there's this evil team. Why aren't the police stopping these people? I don't know. I'm a 10-year-old, but, you know, I'll do it. I'm a prodigy. I got my Pokemon last week, and I'm beating people that have been battling for the last 30 years. Whatever, it's nothing new. I take the gym challenge, I beat the Elite Four, I beat the champion, now I'm the champion. It's the same fucking game every time. So why are we acting like this? Well, who cares about the fucking story? You've played this story 8 times already. This is literally my 8th time playing the same exact story. It never changes at all. It never does. And this is the part of the game you care about? Not that you can't care about it, but just open your eyes, okay? Everything else is so much more important than the story. Not that you can't favor the story over everything else. That might be the reason you play the game. I'm not saying it shouldn't be good. I'm not. I'm just saying it's Pokemon. If you buy Pokemon, you should already know what to expect when you play the story. These people are not going to get better anytime soon. We know this. The story has been the least important part of Pokemon for a long time. Okay? Open your eyes. Try to expand your horizons. Maybe play some competitive. Maybe do some breeding. Maybe learn how interesting it is to actually construct a team. Maybe try to learn a little bit of the PvP. Participate in some raids, because raids are honestly very, very fun. Hell, you might even want to mess with your curry decks, make you some dishes, scrum-diddly-umptious. You might even want to take a little dabble at the battle tower. Now, admittedly, the battle tower kind of trash. Okay. So maybe not. Maybe forget the battle tower. But just experience the full game, and you might see the value in it. Distant Kingdom was telling people not to pick up this game, but he really only pointed out the story. The story doesn't fucking matter. That's not the value in the game. The value in the game is playing it with your friends. This is not a single player game. Now it is, but it really isn't. Because I don't even play the game for that part. I play the game for the interactions I can have with my friends. That's the value in the game. That's the good part. The story is not the good part of the game. Honestly, it's not. It's the worst part of the game. It really is. First of all, the story trash. It doesn't even make sense. The part of the story that's actually different from other Pokemon games doesn't even make sense. The part of the story that is the exact same as other Pokemon games is the exact same as other Pokemon games, except for the gym leaders actually being people in this one. If you paid me $10 right now, I could not give you a single gym leader from Gen 6 or 7. Maybe Olivia, because she a bad bitch. But anybody else from Gen 6? Especially Gen 6. I don't remember a single gym leader. In this game, the gym leaders are actual real people. They have personalities. They talk to you. They pop up more than just at their gym. All I'm trying to say is, story doesn't fucking matter. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Please tell me this video made sense to you. I hope it made sense to somebody, because I feel like I was speaking a lot of truth, but somebody's not gonna understand what I was trying to say. They're gonna read the title, not even listen to me, and type some bullshit in the comments. Whatever. Alright, I've been on the internet long enough. You can't hurt me anymore. I'm out of here.